Good afternoon. My name is Wardy Ward, and I'm going to be your cool captain on this important episode of What's Up Aboard the Podcast. So you know what's about to go down. If you hear something you like today, feel free to hit that like, subscribe, and follow button. We definitely appreciate it. I also give a shout out to my co-host in the building today. Tiki, what's going on with you?
Hey, Wardy Ward, what's up?
You know how I do, just trying to make it do what it do. Anyway, I heard you got the hook up on a skincare company. What's up with that?
I absolutely do. This is Imiru Skincare. It is a plant-based organic skincare product, classified as clean beauty, vegan. It's making its mark in the skincare world. It's designed to improve the health of skin too. And so you can visit the website at www.imiruskincare.com. Good for both sexes, men, women, teens. So take care of everybody's skin, all skin types.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and get started then. One of our famous sayings on the show is everybody has a story to tell, but we want to know yours. Our guest today certainly falls in this category, and we look forward to hearing her story today. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Denise Gilbert to the What's Up Award podcast. How are you doing today, Denise?
I'm doing good. And you?
I'm doing all right. Glad to have you here.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
thank you.
always tell my guests when we get started to tell us in your own words, who are you? A little bit about you, you know? How would you describe it? Who is Denise?
Okay. About me, I'm Denise. I grew up in a small family, mom, dad, brother, sister, religious. I'm taking care right now my little 4 kids, well, one really. The rest of them are grown and out and moved out, and one granddaughter. I'm outgoing. I love people. I'm a people person in the healthcare field. That's what I've been doing most of my life. So, yeah, I have a heart for people, and I'm helping others. And I'm a talkative person too. So that's about me. I go to church. I'm a believer of Christ.
Okay, good. So that's a 2-parent household you said you came from?
It started off like that, and then they separated after things had went on there. It was an abusive relationship with mom and dad. They separated,
okay.
and yeah, took care of us from there with family help.
Yeah. How old were you when your parents separated?
Really little. They only stayed together for my first year and a half of life.
Oh,
So you have
okay.
no memory of that and being together.
I
then.
got a little bit because I
Mhm.
I kept dealing with my father's side, and I got lots of memory. I was over there every other weekend on my grandparents' on dad's side.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, how many kids did you say you have, Denise?
I have 4.
4, and what are their ages?
They range from 6, then there's 19, 21, and 27.
Oh my God. That's a wide range.
Okay. So I know you. So you pretty much started over with the young one, with the 6-year-old.
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was through grieving. That's how that happened.
Okay, we gonna find out about that. So I think you after the 7. Wait. So he was 19. The 19-year-old. So he was 13 or so when you get pregnant with the 6-year-old.
Something like that, yes.
Are you
Okay.
enjoying this last
Yep.
one better? Is it a little more relaxed? This last one?
No, he driving me crazy. He's okay. He act like my dad.
Okay. Yeah. So what grade is the
Yeah.
6-year-old in?
Kindergarten.
Ooh, half day or full day?
He's in full day. I keep him active into sports and things.
Oh, good.
Keep him busy.
Good.
Okay, cool. All right. Before we get into your background and the loving relationship we're going to talk about, did you grow up in Indianapolis? Is that where you're from?
Yes, all my life I've been in Indy.
Okay. So you haven't traveled that much? You haven't got away? You just pretty much stayed here? Never lived nowhere else?
I've traveled when I was younger, but as an adult, probably 2 to 3 times out. Not many, not much. That's what I want to get into when I'm blessed.
Where's somewhere you trying to go or like to go?
Florida, Mexico, places like that. Yeah, them are 2 spots, and Atlanta, where my granddaughter stay. I want to go there again. I drove one time.
Okay.
You like the warm weather spots, huh? Like most people.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. Now you said you're in healthcare. How long have you been doing healthcare, and what are some of the positions that you've held?
I've been in that field like 15, 16 years, DSP, home care aid, with HHA, home health aid.
Mhm.
And I just assist with the food, the cooking, the cleaning, and personal needs.
Okay. All right. So obviously you've been doing this a long time, so you're definitely pretty good at it. Is that something you see yourself doing long term, maybe moving up into management or something like that as well?
Um, no, probably like a trainer because I like to talk to people and help.
Mhm. Okay, fair enough. I can see that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into your story. When well, I'm gonna let you decide. What do you want to talk about first? Because you're such a person who does so much. I don't know where to start. I'm gonna let you tell me which one you want to talk about first. Is it the
Um,
love life?
I I could talk about my brother, losing my brother in
Oh,
21. That subject, it was a tragic accident. They say, but I'm hearing more to the story than what is said. That's out there.
Oh, okay,
I'm so
all right.
sorry to hear that.
Thank
Yeah, me
you.
too. So what happened there? Tell us about that situation.
Um, do you want to know about my brother first, and then kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
bits of it?
yeah, yeah. Set it up. You set it up.
Okay. Well, my brother, he was a type, a person. He ain't sugarcoating nothing. He was what word? He just gonna tell you like it is. He always kept it real, as
Mhm.
I would say. He'd cuss the person out in a minute. He had a bad negative attitude in the beginning. A lot of his life he was in and out of jail, prison. I took my kids to see him. I took his children to see him. He got in a lot of fights growing up, different little things. But in the end, I seen some change that I never thought, because he was the type that's not going to tell no one sorry or apologize, or, you know, he called people that B word often, even include myself. But he wanted folks really in the end to have things on their own and not work for people. He wanted us to have our own business. So he was real tough on us. I understand him more since he has passed away. It was things he were telling me that now I see what he meant, that it was true, about people. So he ended up going to a party a night before, some hours before he passed away. That's what the plan was. But before he went to the party, he stopped at Mama's house, and he was very, very nice to her that day. And he's not been nice to my mom a lot of his life. Very
Oh, wow.
mean tone, behavior, a cuss mom out too. But this particular night before he died, some hours before, he was very sweet to her, very nice. He had a long conversation. He was nice to a few other people, his friends he ran into earlier that day. He asked for
Mhm.
forgiveness to a
Wow.
friend from 15 years ago. Something had happened concerning me because I was a sister, and he didn't want nobody to do me no kind of wrong. So he confronted that dude some years ago, but they made up, and the young man, he was like, wow, what is going on with him? He ain't never apologized. Never. He don't do that type of thing. His character's hardcore. So he did that. I thank God for that change. And I also seen him shed some tears before he died. His structure was like LL Cool J. He was built up like him, how he was built, like real tough. And
Okay.
he walked with a tough walk. And I can't see him crying. I seen him actually cry when he lost his
Wow.
friend of his.
Oh.
Police had shot him down and killed his friend. I seen him cry and bawl out and lay in a casket with tears. I never seen that side. I never knew that would happen with how tough he was. Anyhow, before the situation led to his death, they say that he was chased. That's what the coroner is saying. But the coroner is somebody who didn't write that in the report, but had told a family member of mine. And I'm that sister that's going to really look further into that, because if you cause him to wreck and lose his life, I feel like that person should be in trouble for that as well. That's what bothers me. But I got his face tatted on my chest and everything. I was like, that's in the wrong place. I said, no, that's where your heart is. It's like right here. I don't know if you probably can't see it,
Oh,
but
yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's a big
that we
tattoo.
were
Yeah.
11 months apart. 11 months apart. So
Like
I didn't
twins
get
almost.
closure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't feel like he loved me the way he was mean to me, but a little bit after he died, 6 months later, I kept going to the scene. I tied some balloons up to the tree. They flew up in the air, and some said, "Look, that had to be God." I look, and then there's a piece of a gold chain hanging out of the ground, coming out the ground a little bit. And I actually was on the phone with my sister. She was in Vegas at the time. I said, "Look, sis, that was my brother gold necklace that he had on his neck from the scene." So the coroners have been there, the detectives have been there, my mom have been there, his kids have been there. All kind of folks probably been through there, but nobody found that. Not only did I find that, I found his wave cap, and that's something that he loved, his waves. I found his two cell phones. This is a couple days later, I found them other things, the cell phone and the wave cap and the Bible. That was my sister's. My point of telling y'all that is God had let me know that he really loved you, because out of everybody that came through, I found everything my brother loved. His phones, both phones too, his wave cap and his jewelry. He loved his jewelry, his waves and all that. I found everything. So they let me know, you know, that. And also folks had inboxed me that were locked up with him when they found out what happened and said, you know, your brother had loved you. He really loved you, but he had a funny way of showing it. So that's what I'm having a hard time getting past. If somebody caused him to die, so it's been some anger emotions with me. I've done counseling and just different things, and I have my crying spells often. Like I miss him bad lately, as of lately, just out the blue. That's about my brother.
So, how long ago was this?
He died 21 of January 3rd.
Oh, so that's
the same
recent.
day my daddy died.
Wow.
My daddy died the same day. Both died on a Sunday. Dad died at 43. Brother died at 44. January 3rd on a Sunday. Both on a Sunday on the 3rd.
Wow.
Sorry to hear that. So was it a car chase with your brother?
They said someone was chasing him, the coroner said, but they did not put that in the report. So that's my concern is I want to dig further into that even later. I know it takes money sometimes, but sometimes it may not be that. It could be who I know if I find the right connection to talk to help me get into that. Because it had to be cameras. It was near the 38th and Franklin area where it happened at. Somebody had to hear something. It was around 3 a.m.
Okay.
What's your gut feeling? Do you feel like this was somebody that he knew? Because the reason I asked is especially all that you said unusual behavior right before he passed. Sometimes people feel like they know something is coming or they're worried something is coming. Do you think he knew someone was after him, that he knew this person who?
I believe so. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're going to a party, a house party, that means you know people, right? It's family there and friends there. Out of everybody is him. I'm hearing all kind of stories, not that somebody died. Somebody said he was drugged, but I ended up getting his autopsy like 6 months later, and it was saying something about cleaning solution was in his body. So that's a poison. If you get a hold of some of the stuff that it can cause you to black out at the wheel, some of the stuff he was under. My brother's skull was out his head. His ear was off because I asked the funeral home for the details more. And they don't just tell you that. They say he's pretty tore up, but we could work with him. And they did. He had an open casket. But his son that took over all my brother's property wouldn't even release his body. I had to talk to him in a way that I normally don't, I say, to make him release my brother's body. Because my mama was going to do it, but the coroner said she's not the next of kin. It's his son, his child. It's been a lot of chaos and a lot of division in the family since brother's death. Because the son took every last one of my brother's cars and different things. But I believe it's something to do with, it might have rooted from the girlfriend he was with a younger girl. Because 2 days before he died, she had tore up his place. They said gasoline and tore up the TV, just went through, tore up. He has pictures, his son, of the place, because he ended up getting the keys from my mom, because they ended up giving them to her, the coroner. But once they found out next of kin, she had to release to him. But the place was tore up, and I feel like it should be more detail, or they just letting him slip away because he's just another black man. But I believe she told her brother what went on in their relationship, because it was an abusive relationship. They fought or whatever. He bought her cars and stuff, big things and whatnot. And she probably told her brother. He got out of jail a week before brother died, and then my brother ends up dead a week after. I feel like in my soul, my gut, that it's something to do with him. I don't know his name though. I just know I know the girl's information from hearsay.
Yeah, you feel some foul play there. Okay.
Yeah, he dies a week after the brother get out of jail.
You had
Yeah.
mentioned that you went to therapy about that. How did therapy help you with this situation? What type of tools do they give you?
Um, Maybe talking about breathing techniques and inhale, exhale, and to go to his grave site, to talk, write a letter, things like that's the hardest death I've experienced is my brother now. Out of everybody, if God could say one person could come back, it's a lot of people I really, 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 really love. My little 10-year-old cousin, I love him. He was gunned down. I love him so much. I love the guy who I was dating for many, many years. But out of all, I want my brother back because I didn't get closure. With my little cousin, I know he's all right with God. He's 10. With the one who I was in love with, had health conditions. I could let that go because he was tired. But my brother, he was so young, 40 something, and he had plans to travel the following year, but his life just like that. Yeah. So I want my brother back if God could say one could come back, but I didn't get enough. I just didn't feel like he really loved me like he should. And he had to, but I'm trying to learn day by day and just keep talking to God about it. Counseling it's something that helps talking though. And I walk and exercise and do my music and, do things like that. That's what they suggest.
Yeah, it just takes time. Time is a healer too,
Yeah. Sounds like you don't really feel like you got enough out of the counseling to me. It sounds like it didn't really help you out too much.
I go to church and I look for my brother when I'm driving. I look in the clouds for shapes of him. It's weird. I'm just telling my story. And when I'm at home, when it's dark, I'm looking up in the walls for shadows. I'm thinking I see him or feel his presence. I'm looking for him constantly. I want him in my dreams. I've had him in my dreams a couple times. Him and a 10-year-old were in my dream together. I never knew people that dream of two deceased at one time. They're cousins. And, and then I dreamed of my 10-year-old cousin with his nephew that's a baby together. Now I dreamed of my grandma and my grandpa just yesterday. They deceased, but they came back alive in my dream. I'm dreaming of twos and twos and twos.
Mm-hmm. You had mentioned weird. Closure. I'm curious if you could speak with him. What would you need to know for closure? What is the missing piece that you're missing on there?
I want to know exactly what happened to my brother. Mm-hmm. That's gonna help me to rest a little better. That's gonna help me to just kind of let it go a little better. I'm never gonna get over it, but my plans is to be better. With God, I can. That's the plan. Okay. I just want to know exactly what happened. That's gonna make me feel a whole lot better. I don't even want the person to be deceased. I want them to be in jail for the rest of their life so they can feel everything. I don't even want that person dead. I just want them in jail for the rest of their life because my brother's life is gone forever.
So that's all I want to get over something.
I never get my brother back. My only brother. I can have play brothers and fake ones, but they're not my brother.
Yeah. So you guys grew up together?
My kids were just getting close. Yes. My kids were just getting close to him. What caused my son to do drugs because not having his uncle around. They just had got close. I had dealt with that with my child for 3 years from the grieving that caused him to do that. It caused me to gain weight.
Your son started doing drugs after the loss because he was kind of spiraling down a little bit?
Yeah, he wanted to see his uncle. He wanted to talk to him because when you're on drugs, you could see them, you hallucinate. He would like hug a tree and say, that's uncle. Or he'd come up to a person and hug him and say, why the F you leave me, Effer? You left me. You're just cussing things out and people out, talking to himself, talking to his uncle, snatching my picture of my brother on my wall, running outside with it. Many police calls, because the stuff he was on, it was heavy. I was scared of my own son at the time. I've never experienced that till him.
How's he doing now, your son?
Oh man, it's so much better. He had been in a shelter where it's a lot of drugs there, Wheeler's Mission, matter of fact. But I ended up letting him back with me, and it's been a total change. We've been in hotel rooms and everything. I had to get him away from that because they would not let him stay with me because he's 19. Anybody over 18 or over, they won't let stay with me and a little one that's 6. So we had to separate, and that was hard on us for him to be in one shelter and for me to be in another one. So I started staying in the room. And then that got too expensive. And then I went back to the shelter. And then I asked my mom, could I stay with her for a while? And she really didn't answer. We ended up showing up, me and the little one. She wouldn't take the big one in, the 19-year-old, because of his drug use. None of the family would deal with my son. So imagine that. nobody wants to deal with you. That really make you feel depressed and down and low.
Yeah.
So that's what had went on. We just now got our own place. We've been in our own place now for about a week, and I'm still trying to get it together. I got to get a new bathroom suit from.
Good. That's
but
good news.
That's nothing. That's minor. We just got it. We've been in our place for 1 week. I struggle some, but we'll be okay.
Yeah. How does that feel? Having your own place now? How does that feel?
Good. I just want to make sure that I got to learn how to budget more, because I'm one, like I said, I'm a people person, and I do for folks. I give my last to people, and it look like I ain't even getting that back. But to have my own place, I love it, because I don't have to get up at 5 and 6 in the morning at the shelter. You have to get up when they say get up. You have to lay down when they say lay down. Not unless you're scheduled, you can show documentation. Like I had worked third shift, you know. I was driving home, falling asleep on that third shift job I had at one time, you know. But God had kept me there 6 weeks, and was around a lot of disrespect at the job. Folks talk just disrespectful about women and things, and I didn't want to be around that nature. I ended up quitting, and then I got blessed with another job just recent here.
Okay. So you were homeless at one time? Is that what happened?
Yes, I was homeless. My prior apartment, it was in October when that ended. It was infested with mice and nasty little issues with species and stuff in the floor and the hallways, and it was really nasty. And I got behind with just running him. I had to run him to doctor all the time. The 19-year-old, the drugs had him bad. I had to keep taking off for different things, and I just got to struggling and stuff with the car note, my car breaking down and paying that and stuff like that. All at once, everything, you know.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Man. What type of drugs? What was a 19-year-old? What did he do?
The first time he had got laced though with the Katie spice and all that type of stuff. That's something you can't find in your system. Really, you can find marijuana, but not them particular things. You could just tell by the behavior that he was on that, you know. When you're on some drug like that, you'll do all kind of weird things. You do weird things, walk around naked. And I experienced that with him. And somebody said he's playing. No, teenager kids don't want their parents to see them like that. So I know that wasn't no plaything. So.
Yeah. So you said it was called Katie or Spice? What'd you call it?
Yep. It's like I thought they were saying something like embalming fluid and
I'm
stuff
not
too. He was doing all kind of stuff. I ain't for sure.
Wet. That wet stuff.
That too. I mean, just a little bit of everything. You know, when you find the stuff off the streets, it's a little bit of everything. He would find stuff on the ground. He would walk from the east side of town to the west side of town. I almost got a record from that. He had got locked up from being on that, trying to get in there to get food inside of a filling station. But with God, he ended up beating a case, and I had somebody on his team, a coach, a life coach. He beat that. He would have had a record. They said robbery. And he wasn't trying to, he was trying to get something to eat and call me on the phone. The place was closed. He didn't have no weapons, no mask, nothing. But they called it a robbery.
Wow. So he got to move back into a new place with you now too as well?
Yeah, he's waiting on his place. They haven't came through yet. They don't have no people in office or no maintenance worker. He's been waiting over 1.5 years on his place. His place going is income. I think that's better for him since he's 19. You know, if he's not working to go to zero.
Okay. Yeah. So is he working now too?
He's not working. I told him over at my house, my place, you got to work, go to school, be in the Army, something. You can't just keep sitting there. You won't get a key to my place until you do one of the three. That's what I told him.
You get that tough love. So yeah, I noticed that was hard.
Yeah. When your one parent don't want to deal with his dad was in the Army, he dealt with him a month and put him out after that drug stuff. He let him stay doing the drug experience, but he put him out.
Okay. So I guess he had to go to rehab too then.
You said what?
Go ahead, Tiki.
So I said it's best he learn now while he's still young so that those habits don't continue. If he can learn that hard lesson now, then his quality of life, he can improve, learn those lessons and not have issues so much later on in life. So that's tough love. That is.
Yeah, he been in rehab, and then that little one had to see all of this stuff going on. You know, It wasn't just him. His sister was abusive towards me. She's 21. My daughter, my little one have seen that. And the only reason why I'm not in jail, because usually when your kid has been abusive to them, you end up in jail as a parent because you're going to handle them. I didn't because the little one was watching it. So somebody had to be the bigger one. And when that little one, he was like 1.5 when that started, he could end up the one hurt or dead because we adults fighting around him and that would have happened. But I backed off because of the sake of the little one. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have been through that with her, from spitting in my face to she's been, punching on me, the 21-year-old. But she's been through some things where somebody have abused her because I put her out when she was young for fighting on me, walking the streets, post road area, and things have happened to her that's terrible, real terrible.
Yeah. Wow.
So she's been in an abusive relationship currently, off and on, I'll say.
So you got 3 boys and 1 daughter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is it hard raising young men and being in those situations, or did your parents kind of inculcate something strong in you to help deal with this? Because it looks like you're dealing with a lot.
Now my parents ain't really helped because my dad been deceased. You remember, he been deceased since I was like 22, 23. I'm guessing. I'm in my 40s now, but he been gone a long time. Well, he been gone since, I'll tell you exactly what he is. He been gone since my oldest one was 3, and the oldest one is 27. So there you have it. He been gone a long time, like 20-some years. So he really wasn't there like that. He had battled with alcohol use. He had stayed on that because he was hurt. It was hard though. My mom, she really ain't helped me. She's helped the other ones. It seemed like favoritism to me, but I walked and caught the bus with all my kids in strollers, the older ones that were stair step. Family, they'll see you need help or need food or whatever, and they'll help Red Cross or whoever and know that you're trying to work and take care of your kids. Look like you'll help somebody who's trying to help themselves. I don't ever really ask nobody for nothing, I really don't. But God has blessed other people that have stepped up.
You've probably been very diligent with the youngest one as far as like educating him about the consequences of getting involved with drugs and everything. And I'm sure he sees his older siblings, the results of getting involved with that. Is that probably the case?
I'm having problems with him, believe it or not. He's going to the doctor right now for ADHD, they say, because I get phone calls about every other day at school with him. They say he can't help it if you're ADHD, your brain is going and going and going. He's fidgety, won't be still, and he plays sport now. I got him in basketball, but he gets mad if he don't get the ball or it's not all about him. He's mad. If he looked at my phone and he don't see himself on every picture with me, little things like that cause him to he's got angry issues right now. His dad is working with him. He works with him, but he more of, I'm gonna whoop your behind. That's not helping him if you're ADHD, that don't help.
Yeah.
I don't know. I ain't trying to claim that, and they want to put him on medicine.
You saying no to the meds?
If it continues, I may have to do something. I'm gonna have to talk to God about it. I really don't believe in that. But I mean, as far as them, I can't say I don't believe in it because I take stuff for anxiety, depression due to when my little cousin that started with him when he got killed 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So look into that
really because no.
Yeah, look into that because there are some natural things. I know the ADHD is common, really common among young kids, but there's some natural things that you can take to help with that. Just do it. It's easy. Just do a little bit of research on that. I know friends who their children had that problem. They put them on some education and they said it was night and day difference. It wasn't drugs, just natural.
I want that, what you said.
Natural,
my oldest one is he's vegan or whatever, vegan. He's in Atlanta. He says that. Yeah. No meat, nothing. He do skin product as well and clothing line. He does stuff, but he haven't contacted me in a long while. I have not seen my granddaughter number one time her first week of life. He's took her away from the whole family. So I don't know what's going on. That hurts me right there. That what will make me feel better. He took her away. My only grandchild, my granddaughter, from everybody. I don't know what went wrong. We don't have a bad relationship.
Yeah. You seem to have such a positive disposition. So I really commend you for sharing what you've said so far, because I never would have guessed you were dealing with all that. How are you?
Mhm.
How were you able to be so positive? I remember seeing you at an employment place we were together, and you were very talkative. You're friendly. That's why we ended up talking. So, how are you able to balance all this?
I keep people in my ear. I got some best friends. I could tell you this though too. This is another subject though. I was married for 2 years to an inmate. Matter of fact, it was my brother's best friend. My brother didn't
Hmm.
like that because he said my friend is not out with you to help you physically. But we ended up hooking up because my brother was talking to him in his ride, and I said, "Who you talking to?" And it started from there. I
Hmm.
was married 2 years. Um, and everything. He didn't put me number one, so I divorced. So what I'm saying, we're still friends to this day. We're no enemies because I've known him since 15, the man I was married to. He called me
Hmm.
today and he encourages me. And he found God. He's been locked down for 20 years. I married him because, two, I have faith that he's going to come home soon, and I still do. He still wants to be with me. He said, but on the outside, he want to do it right this time. But he didn't put me number one. That's why I didn't stay with him.
So you
The
married him
family
when he
members
was in
came
jail,
in jail. We had a ceremony down there. We divorced
and
in 21 of June.
wow. How did he
My
not
brother
put you
didn't know
first
that
while he was
part
in jail?
because he said my mama come first, my daughter come first, and I was driving down there every 2 weeks through snow, sleet, and hell, sick or well, boot on my
Hmm.
leg. I did that since 2013 to March of 22. That's when I stopped visiting him. I came off his list. He see that
Wow.
now. He said, "You the only woman. I'm the only woman that he ever had a kiss in 20 years. Ever.
Hmm.
I'm the only woman. Nobody come. They came. The daughter's mom. He kissed them on the jaw or whatever, something like that. That's it. But as far as ours is deeper
Hmm.
because we was married at one time. So
Yeah, yeah. So when is he coming home then?
you know what? His outdate, according to them, it's a long time. It's a long bit. 2065. See, but I don't look at what they say. I know folks that have came home even in spite of what they said.
Yeah, well, that's a long time. Okay.
I don't look at that. I know God can. He's the one to give the verdict.
Yeah, you have hope,
Right.
huh? Chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
still coming home. My pastor said that before, counting some words. He said, "I hear jail cell doors opening for you, and you will be married
Mm.
soon." My pastor said that in was it in 21? He said that, and everything that man that spoke, my pastor, I've seen it come to pass. Everything.
Okay. So you're gonna take him back when he comes home? Is that the plan?
I'm asking God to lead me, but I feel like he checks on me. He's good to me since he's been sitting. He had to be away from friends and family and be isolated. I believe he's gonna be a preacher though. That's what I know right
Hmm.
here. But God had to work on me and take me through a lot. I understand now. This is what I'm telling you. I have to go through everything I went through because if he is the one that God chooses to marry me, you got to be a special type of lady to be able to be a first lady because you're gonna deal with a lot.
Hmm.
You'll deal with a lot. And I had to go through a lot because God's trying to make a person humble and be the right position. You're gonna deal with a lot. You gotta learn to shut your mouth in the
Mm.
spot, especially if I be a first lady. Just say they deal with a lot,
Mm.
you know.
Okay.
So I ain't
Yeah.
saying that's what I'm gonna be, but I feel in my spirit those things. I'm spirit led. I had
I
to
hear
go
you.
through some losses and stuff because I got to help somebody else.
Hmm. Yeah,
I had to
it's
go
good to
through my
help
daughter
somebody.
abusing me because I got to help somebody else. I want to use my pain and to be a gain to somebody, help somebody else not go that route. And I want to be a speaker. This is really what I want to do.
Yeah.
My full time. I want to help people, and I'm going to do that.
What is your relationship like with your daughter now?
She's off and on. Just call me when she need me. Just can you take me go get some food? Can you come pick me up? Off and on. Just when she need me. She'll tell me she love me every now and then. But love is
Hmm.
something you show. For God so loved the world, He gave. If you don't show, then it's a suspect. It ain't just money; it's time.
Mm. Let's see. Oh, my next question is: you had told me that you had your youngest son from grieving. Did that mean you did not want to get married or see anybody? How did that happen?
I wasn't in no serious relationship at the time. That's when I was dealing with the older guy who had heart conditions. Because we broke up off and on, off and on, off and on, maybe a year, 6 months here and there. I met the young one's dad at a restaurant, and he kept trying to talk to me when I would go in there. I say, no, no, no. One day I gave in. That's during the time when I'm sad. This man gonna grab a broom and start dancing, breaking it down all the way from the top to the bottom, singing to me, talking to me, store clothes and still talking to me. And I fell for that crap. And that's how I got my baby. I was saying no. My little cousin just got killed, so I was down and depressed, and he encouraged me. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. He kept me laughing.
Okay,
That's what happened in the beginning.
So you didn't want to marry this guy after time, or you just said probably better off
I
friends
was
with him?
grieving, and he kept being nice to me.
Okay.
Consistent.
Yeah. He did. What's that movie? In that movie, Breaking. He did a turbo ozone with the broom and got you, huh? But tell us about the gentleman that you were grieving for. How did you meet him, and what was that relationship like? I guess he was the love of your life.
Man, I don't know a man like him. And I speak this, I don't think a man on earth can touch him. I tell ladies that all the time. And most women say we all got one like that. Boy, that's the one. If he fell from heaven again, I drop everything I'm doing and be with that one. Now, I met him because his brother was trying to talk with me, and he lived across the street from me, but he had a girlfriend, and he like, well, we could talk with my girlfriends at work. I said, no, not at all. That will be a situation. I said, but if you got a friend or somebody, that's fine. Give me their number. I have a friend. I don't mind having a friend. And he ended up giving his brother my number. And his brother calls me a week or two later. We met up. We hung out on Labor Day. That was our first date at a family function, 70s party. Yeah. And I met him. I said, I'm out here. He walked up from his little Fred Sanford truck, came and walked me back to the garage where they had it set up with the TVs, the pool tables, and all the food outside, all kind of chicken wings, from the barbecue, the honey barbecue, the hot wings and whatnot.
That was a heck of a first date.
And then we danced and stuff and shot pool, and he was a gentleman. I knew that from the beginning because he's like, at the end of the day, we went to the filling station. He followed me across the way. He said, I said, here, put this in my tank. He brought back half my money and said, since you came on my behalf, I thought it was only right for me to pay the other half of the gas. And he just was a real gentleman, just was good. Took care of me. I got sick the first week. He come and brought me barbecue medicine and made sure I ate real good and things like that. Real gentleman. Prayed for me.
Yeah, you
we
can't
all
beat
prayed
that.
together.
Can't beat one like that.
Yeah, we prayed together. We sung to each other on the phone. We talked morning, noon, and night, just everything. He was good to my kids. We had family time. We made family pizzas together. Everybody did a part in the pizza. One of them put the sausage on there. One of them put the pepperoni on there. I was there, all the surgeries. He had open heart surgery, 4 or 5, a 19-hour surgery. I sat there the whole time. All the family left, His mom came, didn't bring no food. She was hungry. I said, you can have some of mine. So she stayed 3 hours. I stayed the whole 19 hours. I could look at him and tell when he was in pain.
Did you say this already? But how long were you, how much time did you guys have together? How long were you together?
Off and on, like close to 20 years, just off and on. We break up a year, sometimes 6 months, but we always got back together. I always ended up back together. I would find him in the hospital. If he get mad at me, he said, you's a bad chick. How did you know what room I'm in? I know what room you're in. You either on the second floor or the third floor, either ICU or the other floor. I know where you are. I know where the heart people are. St. Vincent. I had at night hours, I came after visiting hours was over. He set it up like that because his family didn't care for me like that. I came at 8 o'clock at night in St. Vincent. I ate with him. When he ate at the hospital, he ordered me a meal. On his insurance, he ordered one. They just charged him a little extra.
Yeah. So it sounded like
I cleaned him up.
Real strong love affair there.
Yep, I cleaned him up. I cut his hair. I did everything. Did his feet. Brought my clipper bag in the hospital. They said, you can't cut his toenails. I said, I've been doing them for 10, 12 years or whatever. The nurse said, just shut the curtain, go on and do what you do. I've been doing that. I know how to do that.
Yeah.
He was diabetic,
I was going to ask you that, what happened. So that's what ended up taking his life, the diabetes?
No, the heart, he had 2 heart pumps, if y'all know what that is. Like he had a right pump, a left pump, a pacemaker, a defibrillator.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
Hmm.
He had an opportunity to live, but he gave up. His brother called me after he died just recently this year and said they offered him another surgery that could have saved his life. And he said, "No, I'm tired." And he didn't
Yeah.
call me and tell me. Y'all know why? Because he knew I would have cried like a baby and he would have fell for it.
Word,
But he was
protecting you.
tired and I
Mm.
already made peace. And he didn't want us to have no kind of disagreement on his last. He wanted to go out with peace. And
Did,
he ended up getting cremated though, where he didn't want me
Yeah.
to come to the hospital when he died. No family. We had talked on this. He know I'm acting plum fool. I already told him I would because we talked about death. So he didn't want me to see him while he was like that, and I didn't because I probably would have died with him because that was my heart.
Yeah.
That was my soul.
Yeah.
I could finish
20
the
years,
sentences.
long time. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, that was my sweetheart. I could finish his sentences. He could finish mine. I
Mhm.
prayed for him. I touched his body. He said, "Oh my God, how did you know my pain was in my thigh?" I didn't know. I didn't know. He said, "It went away, my pain." So we had some kind of something. He had an anointing
Connection
on
there.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could look at his eyes. I know when he's sick. I just know him.
Yeah.
That's the way it is
Yeah.
when you spend a lot of time with somebody, all them years, you just get to know. You got a rhythm. You look at them, or just get a feeling like you just something ain't right. So
Yep. And I
Mhm.
go to
mhm.
before he died, he said, "What if I asked you to marry me?" And had a letter in my safe, "Would you marry me?" And before he died, about a week before, he gave me a little necklace and everything. It's probably not. And he said, "It's a spiritual connection." And he said, "You're my forever. You're my numero uno." I was his papoose. On my license plate, that's what it says, papoose.
Mhm.
I know his
Yeah.
favorite color, his favorite food. Some of his family didn't even know that.
Yeah.
His mom
So
ended up dying though a year after because she was heartbroken. 1 year after, on the same month and everything, on her
Ooh.
birthday.
I've heard people do that, be heartbroken and die because someone.
She died of that. I'm surprised I didn't. But you know what's keeping me? Number one, God and that medication.
Yeah, that'll do it. Good combination. Yeah.
Yeah, pills and
God and that
prayer, right?
medication. Yeah, because I should be gone because the way I love him, I'm surprised, guys. I'm still kicking it. I am so
Yeah.
surprised, but it has to be God. I'm gonna show y'all the necklace. I had put it up. He probably has seen it. Um, it's right here. He gave me this before he died.
Mm-hmm. That stone, yeah.
Yeah,
He had one too, didn't
he had one too. I want to give that to my two. Look, he knew him when he was 2 or a few years, the baby, but he had one. They kept it, the family. They didn't leave me nothing, the family. You think they would have when they know how much I loved him. But his brother told me, he said, "That man had mad love for you, girl." He just recently
Yeah.
told me that. That made my day.
he? Yes.
It was.
How come the family didn't like you? What happened there?
You know, they tried to be in our relationship. His sister had made a comment. Anybody that's happy, I don't like happy couples. Just stuff like that because they didn't have things going. Probably more jealous.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
that happens a lot though, family interfering in relationships, and that ends up to the demise.
Yeah.
But I'm going to love whoever loved my kids. I'm going to love you. The one I was married to, his mama called me ugly. And that's mean when I've been there for your child. You know, when he's facing all the time, nobody's going to be with nobody that's got 120 years. That's what he had, 120 years. Who sticks with that? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nobody.
What did he do to get 120 years? Kidnap the Pope?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen here. This, then he was under the influence. 1, 2, somebody owed him money. 3rd, somebody meddling when they get to arguing. He had his little weapon. Somebody called seen the what is that? The park ranger.
Yeah.
They end up on a high speed and stuff, and then they got to exchanging stuff. Him and the police, and they say 3 of them got hit, but nobody died. So while he's been in there, though, he's lost his son though. His 18-year-old son through walking away from a fight, got shot in the head about 5 years ago. He didn't get to go to the funeral, so I talked to him. I said, "What's keeping you?" He said, God to give you that peace and stuff. And he's a real spiritual man.
Yeah. Because he got 120, he can get out 60, good time 40. So
I believe he's gonna come home within, if I had to guess, between now and 5 years. He keeps saying he's coming home. And there's power in our tongue. We got to speak it every day. It's power in your mouth, words. Words mean
Yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
He got to speak. He said,
Absolutely.
"I'll be home soon." That's all you got to do is speak it every day until you're free. He still wants
Yeah.
to be with me because I was a good woman, and I am.
hmm
That I
hmm
know.
Did he know about the other guy, the love of your life?
They
Well,
knew
which one?
about each other. Who
So
did I
which one
talk
was
to
a?
first?
Yeah, yeah. Which one did you like more? It seemed like they both got love
To
for
be
you.
honest, the one who died, that's my heart. I got animals, stuffed animals that talk with his voice, but right now, that's my heart. Nobody could top him. I take him over any man. I don't care if he had $1, I'll still be with him because he's one that he gonna figure it out.
hmm
He was gonna get the income anyway. He had a disability, so we still could make it. I'm one that if we had a 1-bedroom house, I'm cool. As long as we got the air, heat, I'm fine. So, but the one that was my husband, he put me number one, so I had to get out of that.
hmm
So
Wow.
that's why.
Okay.
And I asked him to be on his emergency contact. He said no. My mama been on here 20 years, so I can't put nobody else.
Yeah, that didn't go over too
So
well.
that's not right though. And then when he
Yeah.
buy me a little card or a rose or something, he got to buy his daughter one. It ain't no competition.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, but again, we're talking to Denise Gilbert from Indianapolis, Indiana. You'll listen to the What's Up Aboard podcast. We're going to move on to the second section of this show before we wrap it up. This is called the Rapid Fire Getting to Know You. And I'm going to ask you just a few questions. You just give us your thought on this, okay? Some people say that having kids can put one's back against the wall. Do you wish you had maybe waited or had your kids later, or how do you feel about having kids looking back now?
I wish I'd have waited. I wish to have the same children, but by one same man, not the crazy ones I had. Because actually, I got all different baby daddies. The first three was by the same, but I had a set of twins, so they died. So that's why I said the first three. So I've had 8 kids altogether. But the first 3 was by the same man, but he was abusive. So that was my first boyfriend that I got serious with.
Okay.
Pulling out my hair and pouring bleach in my face, even while I was pregnant. So living in cars. So yeah, the first one, no. So that's if somebody be like, well, that's a wild person. Got different baby daddies. No, you got to know the story. He was abusive. My daughter's father raped me. So you got to understand. So why would I keep staying with the ones who's doing that to me? No, absolutely not. So see, my daughter's going through that. See, mama went through that. You see that abuse.
Yeah, I see that pattern. What advice do you give people about dating? If somebody asks you, Denise, what do you think I should about dating? What advice would you tell somebody?
I say take your time, be friends first. Get to know the person. When you dating, the first few words in dating, my pastor told me this one, so I got this from him, Pastor McMullen. He said, data, dating, the word data in it, no info about them, learn about them, because you want to know is they grandma or they brothers or cousin bipolar or schizo or whatever. You want to know what you're dealing with. Get some data.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. I like that. Here's the question I like to ask people: $5 million or 5 minutes with Jesus?
Oh, I'd rather be with Jesus. Is that what you're asking me?
I knew her answer.
If you had your choice of 5 million or 5 minutes with Jesus, you said you want to talk to Jesus for 5 minutes, right? Hold on, let me pause it. So why would you take the 5 minutes with Jesus versus the 5 million?
Because Jesus connected to everybody who I've lost, all my loved ones I've lost. If I could get with Jesus, they with him, and I'm gonna see them right then.
Okay.
I can see them all at one time. God is everywhere. That's what I want to get in touch with them too. Yeah. And I have everything I need.
Okay. Is there somebody now you need to forgive?
Like I said, if I had to really, God is working on me with this for my nephew, the one who took all my brother's things, property, everything. He said, everything of my daddy's is mine. Like he didn't have a mother, like he didn't have a sister and another sister, him. I want God to fix me to where I can walk past him and smile if I don't have nothing to say at all.
Okay, I like
if
that.
It's just a smile, that's better than anything else.
My next question is, if you were to date again or find somebody, what things will the man have to be able to do to get to your heart? what are you looking for in a guy?
You said it earlier. If you got to talk about God, that's my number one thing, because without him, nothing will work. I learned that from Gary, who passed, the one that was sick. We kept praying, and when prayer's in, it's gonna work. You're gonna have some ups and downs, even with God in your life. It's gonna be some ups and downs, but you can get through it with Jesus. You gotta talk about him. You gotta love family, because I still got one I'm raising. The older ones, I ain't gonna say you gotta like them, because they could be disrespectful, but we're gonna be respectful to one another. You gotta have something going for yourself, work or school. You gotta have something. And
okay. All right. My next question is this. Can you hear me now?
yeah.
Okay, make sure. Okay. If you could change two things from your past, what would you do? What two things would you change?
I would do the being an army in a service. That's one thing I would have did differently, because it would have kept, because I got a lot of weight. That would have kept my physical together, one, and then there's a lot of opportunities in there. And I would have had my kids by a day.
Say that again.
Yeah.
What'd you say about the kids?
I would want to be married to the one kid's father if I could choose it.
Okay. All right. I can see that. Okay. And is there anything you're not good at? Are you good with technology, computers, anything like? Is there anything you can't do?
I'm not good at that computer stuff. My son helps me with that. That's why I dropped out of Ivy Tech. But that's something the older one that passed was trying to help me, so I could be more independent on my own without asking anyone. He was working with me on that. I ain't pay attention like I should, though.
Okay. All right. And you said you said you weren't happy with your weight as well. What are you doing to work on that?
I ain't been doing good. I had surgery, weight loss surgery. But when you moving and stuff and you're here and there, when I was in the shelter here and there, I was eating everything that they got, and I ain't been doing right. I had surgery and I'm doing wrong, but I'm gonna get back together. I've lost 14 pounds though, but I need to
good.
I'm at a standstill because I'm eating everything.
Yeah.
Well, when you get a little more consistency in your life, that that becomes easier. You can focus more on yourself that way.
Yeah.
Yep, I got a lot of friends, a few friends. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you, what was it like in that shelter? I mean, you can't really leave stuff there, can you? I mean, how does that work?
You can. They have lockers. I cried when I first went in there and seen some of the women. They was addicted on drugs. Some was pregnant on drugs, and some didn't take care of their skin, real dry legs and cracked up skin and all kind of scars. And the kids and women with children, they got to stay in another area separate with a gym area, big area, and with cots. We laid on the floor. And I'm too big to be on them low cots, but I did it.
That's motivation right there.
Get up. Yep, wow. I had to hold on to the wall to get up, My son, he would call me and say, let me sleep in your car when he was at the men's shelter at the time. He slept in my car one time. He just said, I don't want to be here in that shelter. It's pretty bad. They rape you and stuff in there, he said. In the men's.
Man. I'm glad y'all both continue to keep it moving despite those setbacks, because that's been a lot. Denise, I just want to tell you that we really enjoyed hearing your journey here, but we're just going to give you two more questions here. What's next for you? What's next? Where's Denise going from here? What are you going to do in life?
Again, I want to get on that being a speaker thing. Something in my spirit, I want to take women or men, whoever wants to travel to see loved ones that's in prison, because I have a lot of loved ones in prison. I got a lot of loved ones. Another one, he got 226 years according to them in prison. We talk all the time. He's been encouraging me and saying what we don't do is we don't give up. When I've been crying about my brother, see, I got encouragers in my ear. He said, we don't give up. That's what we don't do. And he just lost his brother, but he encouraging me. So when he get down, I'm going to remind him what he told me. What we don't do, we don't give up. So I asked him, do they want prayer? But I'm going to do the speaking thing. I got a book to be published this year. I'm just waiting on my money, my funds to come back. The publisher, I already talked to the lady. It's just the fee I got to pay. And my book is, I knew him, talking about God, but I didn't know him.
Okay.
When you know him, it's a personal relationship. Nobody got to tell me when I know what I know.
Yes. Wow. Wow.
And my
So
life
that sounds
stories
like,
in that book.
man, you definitely got to come back on here. We get that published, and we're going to talk about that some more
Mhm.
too. Now,
I
are
will.
you on social media? Do you have social media website where people can find
I
your
do.
footage? Well, what's your site
Yes.
so people can, if they want to reach out to you? How do they do that?
Yep. You go through there. A lot of everything I'm telling you, you'll see if you stroll down through my timeline. D Love. That's my Facebook name. That's all I have right now.
Is it
D Love.
DEELOVE?
Yep. Capital D, lower EE, and love space LOVE.
Oh, okay, on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sure people just want to reach out, definitely want to find out more
Mm-hmm.
and talk to you about hear about your extraordinary journey. Is there anything else we need to discuss before we go that you want to clear up or make sure we touched on before we get to our final thoughts? Anything else you want to say? Did you
Not
get it all
really,
in
but
there?
I'm just saying, not really. It's just that when you do the one thing you brought up, I'll say this on forgiving. In order for God to bless me and everything that I want to do, speaking and helping people, only how that's gonna happen, the things I desire, and even the marriage thing, whatever I desire, it's gonna happen when I forgive. When you forgive somebody, that means I can walk in the same room they is and don't get tensed all up. That's when you know that you forgave a person. So if anybody's
Mhm.
struggling or don't know if you really forgave, if you experience um, that stress and stuff when you're around that person who wronged you, then
Yeah.
you know you'll be able to smile when somebody wronged you, even in the
You
same
wish them
present
no harm.
without getting upset. That's when you know you forgave that person. So God is working on me in that area, and that's when I know that He's gonna answer a lot more of my prayers because I desire for my family to be closer on both
Yeah.
sides of dysfunction. So in
Okay.
order for them to be answered, I'm gonna keep on praying. Maybe I'm the one that they'll see on that generational curse, like the abuse, like my daughter and I have been through, and I'm the one that got to step up, even though I might have to run it along. That's okay though. I'm the type
Mhm.
now. I'm okay with being in a relationship, not in a relationship. I desire a husband, but if I never get it, I got Jesus. That's where I'm at now, and
Mhm.
that's for real.
Yeah.
That's for
Is
real.
it gonna be hard for you to be in subjection to a man? I mean, you've been on your own making it for so long. Are you strong-willed or?
I have been, but I'm learning not to be that because my mama whole side is very the women are controlling.
Mm.
I'm working on that. I do have a friend. Actually, listen, y'all won't believe this though. Somebody from prison, like when I haven't been talking to nobody, doing nothing, inboxed me, and I've talked to him for 9 months. So I'm like, I'm confused, but I know that out of the three who I know that I talked to, one of them, I feel like God is gonna bless me to be my husband. I know for a fact because my pastor said he said jail cell doors are opening. So when they're opening, somebody's coming out or going in. I just don't know. I'm just
Mhm.
being nice to everybody, and I just want what God. This is what my prayer is. What He has for me, I want that. I want whatever God
Absolutely.
has for me, not what I want, but what He has for me. Because what He has is gonna work. It ain't
Yeah.
gonna come back void. You see what I'm
That's a
saying?
good,
So I
very good
wasn't even
attitude.
messing with this
Okay.
guy. He inboxed me, and now he's my friend for 9 months. We get into it lately, but he's just a friend right now. I'm just having friends, cause so I'm
I,
single
I
still right now.
I don't know how y'all can argue if he there. What you know what? That's another show. But like
Because
I
he's
hang
trying to
on in
come
real
home.
quick. Oh,
Because he's trying to come home, and I'm not handling his business downtown through the central office the way I'm not saying the right words or whatever to
oh
get him
man.
home within this
And
year.
he
So he
and
wants to
he
come
getting mad
home,
at
and I've been
you for
down there.
that?
I've been
Okay.
down there 3 times. He said I'm not interested in his freedom coming home if I'm not doing it right. Well, I ain't never been locked up, so maybe I ain't doing it right. You got to get the family to do that now.
Well, tell that brother holler at me when he get out. But anyway, okay. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna have Tiki read the final thoughts right here, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Tiki, would you mind
Okay.
reading our final thoughts for us? Go ahead, give it to him.
Sure. Not many people talk about how we feel after a tough breakup or a loss of someone. Some find it nearly impossible to date because you start to see red flags in nearly everyone. You start to see so many things that you're not willing to compromise because you've learned to trust your intuition. And you can see when things are an issue with people that you may not be able to get over in a relationship. Thus, we don't allow our feelings to get in the way of logic and cut it off before it even gets to that point. Perhaps some feel this way because we realize how many people are actually working on themselves and just seeking shallow connections. Sometimes people don't look to improve as a partner and think they're fine, which makes it hard to grow and it is exhausting. Some choose to be alone and wait, others rush in. You decide what's best for you.
Remember, everyone has a story to tell. We just want to know
Lord, want to know
what's yours.
what's yours.
All right. Till next time, everybody. We thank our guests for being on the show, Miss Denise Gilbert of Indianapolis, Indiana. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Peace.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you. Peace.
Thank you, Denise.